wanna,
Public comments, just fine.
That's at 3 o'clock.
okay, very good. Well, then we can't talk to you.
I turned this back on. You need to move up.
She wants to get you in the picture. Well,
And since there's nobody here, they can go ahead and do it.
we can talk to them?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, they weren't on the agenda for 3 o'clock, so they can just,
You finished the rest of the agenda?
yeah.
We're a very efficient group, didn't we?
Oh, gee whiz. That's the reason you're making so much money. No, I understand.
Now you understand.
Yeah, yeah. So what's up?
Well, actually, I have a couple things. It won't take more than 2-3 hours, so don't.
All right, no problem.
No problem.
So we'll have to take notes, so.
I know that there's been some, you read the paper and everything, the issues with the seniors, food and all this and that, and then I saw the news reporter on TV. We had actually, when I first saw it, had called and left a message here, and I don't know what happened to it, but to tell you that we would be interested in volunteering on any way we could.
Yeah.
So, in the event, and I know you've appointed new people, and I'm sure they're gonna do great, but if that ever happens again, we would certainly be interested
Good.
in doing that.
Well, they might get a hold of you too. You know?
Now, we've dealt with a lot of the kind of things, she was the director of foods for 15 years at Forsyth, and we had our own business and things, and so,
Definitely, let's get your name to them because they're gonna need, they're starting over. So they're gonna need people.
it's a very important area, and I think that, like I said, we're old, we might wanna go there and eat someday,
Yeah,
Well, hey, you might be a senior one day.
Me, I'm too young, but still.
Well, I can tell that, you still have dark hair,
No.
Smarty.
Yeah, well, you're too young too. See?
The other thing I wanted to do is kind of give you an update, as I serve on the Middle Muscle County Water District Board, and just give you kind of an update of where we are. And last Thursday, our engineer was down, and we have 2 meetings a month, first and third meeting of the month, and then, of course, now, because the things are getting closer and exciting,
Okay.
and we do it more often.
First and third what?
First and third Thursday, I'm sorry, 7 o'clock, and we meet at the Gospel Church down there, the Cowboy Church. And of course, it's open to the public, no problem. In fact, we invite you anytime to come down. But we had some good messages from Staley's. Matt is their, I think you guys probably worked with him, their engineer. And we just needed to finalize some things such as where the water drops are going to be, who's eligible to receive the water. One thing I wanted to clarify is in talking to Warren yesterday, and he and I had just been over to the Wednesday meeting in Harlowtown, is that the only people that qualify for water is to have, sorry about that.
What time
I'm sure
is
they're
that?
selling me insurance right now.
So when was the meeting on the first Thursday?
First and third.
7 o'clock, Cowboy. Okay.
First and third.
That won't do it. They'll call again. I am sorry, I gotta buy donuts next time. It's the way it is in the legislature, you gotta buy donuts for them. Anyway, the only people who qualify for the water is you must have an existing structure, a residence. And it looks like we're sitting at somewhere around, well, we have an exact number because the map is drawn, 24 to 28, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
As far as the airport goes, when Matt came down and I and the previous president toured the whole area with him, he showed us where the airport drop would have to be. the most effective one.
Coming
Just-
from the golf course or whatever?
No, well, the thing is if it came from the golf course, but the important thing was it would through part of what our bid could be, because I realize there's no residents up there, but they can bring the line and put the meter at the edge of the airport.
Okay,
And there's, you know, where the gate is there.
Yeah.
Because there's some other houses up there. Dave Ponte lives up there, and
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and the city attorney, there's 4 houses, and that's their requirement, is that to go to an area that's that remote, there needed to be 4 structures. We've already told them if something happens that falls through, we're going to take a drill and I'm gonna put a garden hose on the line by my house,
Okay.
and I'll have water. We're actually involved in another legal issue with RMLA, and that is now at the Supreme Court.
Really?
Yes, we received the initial win, I'll call it, you know, and then of course it has to go to the secondary, but the primary injunction, and the RMLA board was notified they must remove all liens, they must remove, and in the meantime, not have to pay any membership dues, and so then our attorney had to come down and go through all the records to make sure that what we claimed was accurate, and it was. And they were supposed to do the same thing. They have 2 attorneys, and they did not do that, but I'm sure they can pick up on the same thing that, you know, we used. Rather than go to court, which would have been November 7th, to get it settled for the,
Yeah.
they appealed to the Supreme Court. And so now, it looks like we were told the Supreme Court will probably address it in January or February. It's not a big issue, you know, it's not like,
Yeah.
but that will take place, and that's just for your information.
They asked for a new judge first, remember?
yeah, I heard that they wanted to change the
Yeah,
name.
they changed judges.
Well, yeah, they did go ahead and request a different judge, but,
Can the Supreme Court refuse to hear the case?
no. What happened is that at the primary injunction level, they didn't like the outcome. And so they requested that a new judge be appointed. And so instead of fighting it, said, go ahead, appoint a new judge. You know, we wanna do what's right, and that's the bottom line. And so at that point then, instead of going for the
New judge.
end road, that's when they said we wanna go to the Supreme
Yeah,
Court.
but don't you typically have to go through an appeals court before it goes to the Supreme Court?
Evidently not. We found that out, that
Yeah, I'd be surprised that they'd be chock full of caseload like,
and that's the reason they're saying January, February, March, and I mean, ours
I
would
think
be.
in the state, you're right, it doesn't have to go to appeals court. If it was
maybe
federal,
that's
you
just
would.
federal.
Cause that's what, it's happened here before,
Yeah.
with the sheriff's election.
They did.
Sure. And I think that probably, you know, it might be a difference between a civil matter and a criminal matter.
Okay,
You know, I don't know if that's the correct answer.
but bottom line is this is what they're doing.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
what, and we've been notified, and the text, we actually have, they asked us if we'd pay for part of the text to go to the Supreme Court.
Really?
Yeah,
Part of the what?
part of the document from the initial court hearing,
Yeah,
and of course, it's like 111 pages
Yeah.
long.
okay.
Because of course, you know, they, big writing and everything, and they asked us if we'd help pay for that to go to the Supreme Court. And
Nice.
that was, no, we're not going to do that. And so it went ahead, and we do have a copy of it, and it's in good detail. Other things, like I say, we were at the Central Water District, Central Montana Water District Wednesday, and they are in the process now of writing our contract for the water, because
Good.
you have to have a formal contract.
Right.
And it's really not a very big issue to do that. I mean, it's, believe it or not, I think it's 1 or 2 pages compared to so many of the things that go on and Matt was on the phone with that meeting, and he went over and said that he had the map drawn, and we'll provide you guys with a map, so you have it when we get it.
Yeah.
And in fact, I told him, I said, make it big enough so I can see something, you know, at my age. And so, we'll have that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We're broke.
Oh, man.
The only monies that we get are out of our own pocket.
Right.
And we have paid for everything in the lawsuit that we initiated. And I say we, I'm talking about the board members.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And and our attorney has been really good about that. He's a top-notch attorney, and his wife's family lives here in Roundup, and so it really works out good
Oh,
that he comes up and stays with them, so he's not charging us for those kind of things. But we're still spending a lot of money, and so I'm on bended knee. Is there any grants, community development grants, or anything we can get some money from you guys for? And even if there's a way to do it, to initiate and having a small fund and then have to pay it back once we have the water. See, that's,
Well, we do have community development block grant loans available.
Yeah.
that would be helpful. See, the problem is the contaminated water grant that we're getting, and it's not called that, it's contaminated
EC.
water loan,
Okay.
but you never pay it back.
Yeah, forgivable loan.
Yeah, it's a forgivable loan. I wanted to do that with my cars, but they wouldn't do that.
It's the best kind of loan to get, I'm
Yeah, no kidding. But because we were going to need, you know, in fighting in court and everything, we anticipate there's probably going to be a challenge to, oh, and that's the other thing, our site title opinion is just about done. Another attorney doing that. We will have that, in fact, we might have it early next week.
That is so important.
God, it should have been done initially.
Yeah.
Yes.
It really should have been done a long time ago, and without pointing a finger, I think what happened is that there were a number of people who dropped the ball. We thought it was being done by a previous attorney we had, and we kept being told it was, and it wasn't, and we just didn't follow up on it well enough. But now we know that, and Matt, and then our other attorney, Derek, they're all working with, I can't remember the guy's name that's writing it now. He's a land attorney. He deals just with land and things like that. So he would, if there was ever an issue where we ended up in court, he would be there to testify what he found. But other than that, he can't or won't.
Could they
Be the one that
contact Snowy
fights it.
Mountain? Could Snowy
Yeah,
Mountain?
maybe we get you in touch with Snowy Mountain to see.
Yeah.
But all this money that you guys have got wrapped up in all this legal stuff, is that eventually money that you could get recouped through part of your district charges?
Well,
As an expense that gets spread out by all the members of the district?
that's what we're hoping for. And the lady, and why I can't remember her name, it's not Stephanie.
Sandra.
Huh?
Sandra?
No.
No, okay.
But anyway, the lady that actually is the purse for the bad water thing, we asked, is some of that available for us now for everything from site title opinion to our, and it can't be used, we can't, one of the things we want to do is to send letters out to the members of our district and ask if, you know, we could begin charging a small amount, $25 a month or something,
Yeah.
to accrue some funds. We can't do that. Until the water is turned on, we can't do that.
Or until you have an agreement, right?
No, it isn't just that. The water has to be
So
physically.
when do you think the water will actually be turned on?
We're looking at January to call for bids, maybe February. Water will be turned on, well, like Bob Church told us that we should have running water easily a year from now,
Okay,
but
But
probably
maybe
sooner
like-
than that.
okay.
Because when you call for the bids, that time of year, there's so many projects going on trying to get someone in. Because this is a small project, this is a $4 million project. And it's tiny compared to, you know. And actually, you know, COP Construction has done most of it so far, I mean, in the big scheme of things. And they're actually letting contracts to other places now.
Okay.
So that's kind of a, you know, we don't.
Bottom line though, is you can't get any financial relief through the contaminant grant.
That's
for
right.
well over a year from now, or roughly a year.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And what we're going to need to do is, at that point, I mean, we even paid for our own insurance, because we felt we needed to have insurance so that if we're sued individually, we're taken care of, just like you guys have. And so consequently, well, and I mean, it's a smart thing to do,
Oh, yeah, I
you
think
know.
we are through.
And so we have just been, quite frankly, once a month, we all divvy up and unfortunately, all the people getting the water, a number of them don't want to contribute.
Ah,
And they just want the water, you know, and that's kind of what happened.
Well, let's, I think, get you in touch with Snowy Mountain, but we do actually have a community development block grant fund
yeah.
in the county that we've not used. It's not a lot of money there, but, you know, it would be, what I'm hearing you say is, well, once you get the water turned on, you can get reimbursed.
We would reimburse it.
You pay the loan back. And, so I would just, we would need to see, you know, how much and what the restrictions are, if it's even feasible, but it's certainly the first thing that comes to my mind.
Well, if you would,
Wow, more donuts, we get more donuts.
if you could check into that with your attorney, you know, the
I
county
will
attorney,
look into it.
and then see what, I mean, we're not talking about $100,000, that's not what we're talking
But I
about.
get it, I mean, even if it's, I get it, it's
Yeah.
coming out, you know, it's, but let me share with you, I had a really good conversation just yesterday with one, I don't know if he shared with you.
He just told me he had to go get his wife today, so we didn't get to talk.
So, we talked about, you know, the issue of, he called it the EC grant, Emergency Contaminant or
Yeah.
something like that. It's about $4 million grant. Currently, what's being drawn on it and paid out of it is the design fees to
That's
Stanley.
right.
And he said, but this grant will not provide water service to non-residents. You have to have a working water.
That's right.
They said he asked him to go around and flush everybody's toilet to see if they had a. working
That's
toilet.
true, that's true, they did ask that.
Yeah, so the idea though is that so that's why the airport was left out of the picture, is because they're not a resident, you know.
You could put a house up there.
Well, no, what he told him, he said, I said, well, we don't wanna get sideways with you, but
Certainly.
we understand that you got this $4 million emergency contaminant grant. Before, everybody in that district was gonna have to pay to get water from the district's distribution to their house.
That's right,
They're all getting it to their house.
that's correct.
And that the actual average cost per user is down, he said, maybe in the $90.
We're just saying 100 for
Yeah,
round.
yeah, which is fantastic compared to the PER, the PARs.
Mhm.
But what I told him, I said, look, I said, I don't know how much it's gonna take to get water to the airport. But the airport was a member of the district, and that we took a chance, that we opted into the district.
Mhm.
And as a customer, I felt that the district is obligated to get the airport water just like it's getting everybody else water. He said it's an interesting perspective, and think about it. I said, but before we get bent out of shape on this thing, let's quantify how much it's gonna take to get water to the airport. Let's quantify the issue first and then discuss who's responsible for what. But, so that, I'm just sharing that with you.
Certainly, I appreciate
And
that.
I just, because honestly, when we remember what happened is we were considered 10 EDUs or whatever, and that helped sway the tally of the votes, or the opt-ins versus opt-outs,
Right,
to form the district. So, and then there's, so rather than, you know, like I said, let's quantify the issue, but that's kind of our initial is, you know, hey, we're members of the district, just because everybody else is getting everything to their house for basically nothing, doesn't mean that you can't spread out whatever it's gonna cost amongst the district members to pay to get it to the airport, cause we're a member. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. One thing just things going through my mind is I wonder if there's any money through fire retardant and such.
Yeah, he mentioned that too.
Oh,
If
did
there
he?
may be anything, because if Kelly had mentioned he wanted to store water for firefighting or
Yeah.
something, and there may be some money, but it's not gonna be instantaneous, I can guarantee you that, It's,
The thing is I think that one of the things that we need to do is we need to have them spell out what it would cost from where the meter will be,
yes,
from the meter into 10 sites at the airport. And, we already have people that have the meters already in.
Really?
And they had, not going into it, but it kind of surprised us when we found that out. The meters are all underground, by the way, they're all in a tank, they're all electronic, you can drive it by and actually sit at your desk and pull them up. One of the things, and you pointed this out, that when we sign the contract for the individual homes that can have the water, we need to have every single one of them say that the water will be brought to the meter at their home.
right.
Now, we hadn't thought of that before. Monty is the one that said, because all of a sudden you're gonna have some others come back and say, hey, wait a minute.
You took it, you're saying for people that wanna opt back in.
That's
just-
exactly right.
just- No, amen, because you've spent your money, your money will be spent, that's a really good point. The other thing we talked about, there was sort of the philosophical, hey, you guys, you owe us water, and why would you treat us any different than anybody else?
Right,
You're saying, yeah, but see if you can find some other money, if we can, we'll do what we can for the firefighting, but let's at least quantify what it would take to get water to us. How much money are we talking about? And he said that was coming from the golf course, he called it something else, but he said it's a new route, and it's gonna take care of Marking and Ponte, and it would take care of the airport and maybe.
there's actually 4 of them up
Okay,
there.
very
yeah.
good. And that would handle that group that got left out, but we stand alone because we're not a resident. And so that's kind of a different issue. The other thing I talked to him about, just to stress to you, is this site title opinion and the importance of it. I don't know why you would have a $4 million grant awarded, and I don't know how much money burnt on design fees.
175.
And not have a site title opinion on the easements. I don't know why, I don't know how that could possibly slip through everybody, because what if that opinion comes back negative? But it won't, based on everything, but I don't know why it isn't done.
That goes back to one thing. The attorney that we previously had that was supposed to write it 3 years ago,
Right,
or 2.5 years ago,
Drop the ball.
dropped the ball and kept telling us it was being done and this being done, and that's one of the reasons we changed attorneys. I think he was too busy with the election. I won't mention his name, but
I know,
But and I'm sure he's a fine attorney, but he really dropped the ball for us because it should have been in our hand before anything.
well, and I heard this EC grant will pay for it.
They will, that's correct.
And so, if I were you, as a risk manager, I told Warren, I said, that's the first thing I'd wanna check off my box. Do we have that site title opinion? Cause they're gonna fight you tooth and nail.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I have no doubt at all, some of the mailings that have gone back and forth, it's really one individual that's pursuing it. But they're using our money that we pay as members to fight us.
They're asking for they're asking,
Well, if you win, it's like they weren't entitled to any money even from the beginning. from
Right.
You guys.
Well,
To me, that's amazing.
they're asking, people to pay, next year's dues this year.
In December, they sent a letter out already, they said, we need next year's dues in December.
by December
and
15th.
you're going to be fined if you don't do that.
Really?
Oh my God, the nerve, the nerve.
No wonder people are bailing out there. And Mike Pratt's
Do
fencing.
you know the best thing is, and seriously, I just wish everybody wanted it.
Yeah.
I mean,
That'd
it
be
would
so
be,
much easier.
it's such a good, we just had told by a realtor, the value of our properties is taking a nosedive because they're fighting all these things.
But
Really?
think about, once you get this water, and once it's affordable, and once people understand that there was, I mean, you make sure that they have to pay from their meter, you're gonna have more people opting in than,
That's right.
why
It's not gonna
wouldn't
cost
they?
$800 a
Now,
month.
the only reason they wouldn't have in the past is they were projecting anywhere from like $140 to $300 and some dollars a month.
That first PIR was clear up to 300 and something.
So it's like, now now it's affordable,
Right.
but it's still not cheap in my mind.
But still,
But, you know,
there's
it's,
other benefits.
Well, I mean, I guess, you know,
Yes.
the way I look at it too, I'm dirty already for hauling water today. You know, when you get my age, and it's 30 below out, and every one of our pipes freeze, you know, getting the water into our cistern to just be able to go and turn the faucet on. And it's healthy water. That's the
Yeah.
bottom line, is it's healthy water. And there's the contaminated water, who knows how much damage it can do to people in the interim.
Right.
apparently it's already done a lot of damage. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking, that's talking about the,
But you know, I worked in Colstrip 21 years, and you know, they said that the cancer rate was so high there because of the power lines, and I've gone through cancer, I have it again, and you could take a fluorescent light bulb and go near the pipe wires without touching anything, and it
Would
glowed.
light up.
So you knew that.
They were getting something.
I just wanted to hook into them and have it go to my house. But,
There you go.
But at any rate, if you would check into seeing if any of those, if there's anything, the CBG grant or anything, we would certainly enter into a contract. Well, I'd have to have them hold a membership, or a.
you're on the board though, right?
Pardon me?
You're on the board.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that, you know, we would be really happy that we didn't have to every month take $200, $300, $400 out of our pocket to just kind of keep moving along, and hopefully that will work out, because, you know, we certainly want the airport to have water.
No, I think we can work that out, but before we get bent out of shape, let's try and figure out how much money we're talking about.
We'll get that information. Hi, Sherry.
Hello, how are you?
And we'll look into that CBDG,
Yeah.
that's just the only thing that comes to mind, there might be something, but everything takes time, you know, and that might be the quickest one.
Well, we're certainly will pursue that, and from our end, to get an answer. Because
Yeah.
Matt should be able to tell us, you know, we do know one thing, we know that the main meter is $1,100. That's the large meters for $1,100.
A month?
Well, we were all gonna have to pay for the smaller one, for a 2-inch line, and now that's even covered with the contaminated water grant. So, but I think that the meter, we can get covered, because it has to find a terminal point, they can't just leave the pipe out there running in the ground, coming towards the airport, so.
Right.
It's not $1,100 a month, it's a one-time.
Yeah, one-time shot, but still, $1,100 is,
Yeah.
I sure appreciate your time, guys, you know, and,
I'm glad you brought this to our attention.
Simon, I think really good conversation with Warren, I really appreciate it.
he's a great guy, you know, he really is, and it seems like, you know, it's because of the battles against us, that, you know, we take 2 steps forward and 1 back, but
Oh, yeah.
we're making headway, and someday, we're gonna be able to look back and say,
In a year, you guys will have water,
yep,
and it'll be affordable.
yep. And
I'm
it'll be,
helping you to that, by the way.
and it'll be,
Just, I'm just letting you know, it's on the
We're
record.
not recording, we're not recording.
and it'll be healthy.
Well,
Said
yeah.
right there that it is.
It is
recorded.
recording.
I know.
The light on?
I'm nothing I say is without, you can't.
Hi, Mom and Dad. That little thing that's vertical now will be cool. My mom was saying that she would be on watch TV.
Yeah, nobody looks at that anymore.
My mom, I think, was saying that she's trying to advocate for people to watch the meetings and stuff, and then our friend Kevin, who works at the hospital with Cheryl, he wants to get more involved also, and has been really encouraging us too, so. We do need to get
You'll
it.
be so bored.
I know, and I was like, when we switched to
I don't
Mondays,
get
and
bored very
I
you
think
just
it's-
pop
I
in
think
and out
it's
throughout
gonna
the
go
day to see what you
viral.
guys are up to, you know?
You'll start